It is a historical day today with all these Bitcoin ETFs going live. And if you go in looking at what the world think about this, you can actually see people who are searching for crypto is increasing dramatically. It's starting. Last time this happened, it was here that provided a great return on your investment. Before that was in 2017. So if you follow the history and you're looking at crypto, you're looking at Bitcoin, you're looking at XRP, you kind of see the first phase where you go up, you consolidate for a while, and then do the last big burst. So you are in that phase where there is a lot of attention coming into the market. But that does not mean you will not see volatility. You will see that for sure. When you see the price of Bitcoin going up and down, some people get super confused. Remember, earlier today, I actually told you guys, watch for this. This is a possibility. Now, I think we already did that kind of a wake. We're trying to bounce back up. This is all happening in the market. So if you see the fact that the Bitcoin dominance is slowing down, that gives huge advantage. Now, what do I mean by that? Right? If you do look at how things are evolving, just the first trading day, that was like $4.9 billion. That's not a small amount for anyone who's looking at the comparison. Okay, that's on the exchange. What about the OTC? It's 7 billion in Coinbase. That's a huge thing to look at, right? Just the first trading day, this is how things are evolving. Now, why does all this matter right now when people are giving you big numbers? 250,000, 600,000, 1.5 million. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's a little bit too much in my opinion. But the way they are projecting this, you have to understand once the ETF is there, you have a lot of new institutions coming in, the money is entering, the volatility will reduce, it will dampen for sure. But what matters here at the moment is us understanding the fact where we are going. The talk about this is pushing where we all know XRP is about to go. But that's just one asset in the market. But the entire market is about to show you historical movement. So in few months, guys, some will have regret. I'm sure that some who are watching this video right now and who did not participate in this run up was already feeling some regret, already feeling that pain. But others are looking for, okay, what's the next leg? How much taxes am I going to pay? That kind of a pain, which is fine, which is good, right? So the possibility of the market doing something like this is increasing like nuts. It is showing you exceptional opportunities in the market. Try to find those and follow those. And if you want help, join the SI family where 940 plus members are taking benefit of my calls real time on a lot of these assets, which we just saw running higher today, ETC, ENS, a lot of them. So if you want to join that, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, in YouTube, or in the bio in Twitter. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. You're looking at the entire crypto market and you're like, okay, some of these assets are slowly grinding up. Some of them are really pushing higher. What is happening? It's the ETF for Bitcoin which went live, not for these assets. So what exactly is happening here? This is where you need to think. When the Bitcoin ETF is going live, and that's a big change in the financial market, you see giants entering. They slow down the volatility. So first thing, when a lot of people say, okay, I need a XRP ETF, I'm like, okay, that kind of reduces the volatility for sure. So if you are looking for that burst to $10,000, no, you don't want that, right? So you have to keep that in mind. This is going to be a long-term game from here in Bitcoin. It won't be small term, because understand, it's going to take like, another 100 years, 130 years, 120 years from now when all the Bitcoin would be available in the market. All of them mined. So these institutions, they can look for next 20 years, 30 years for their compounded return. But not a lot of us can actually think in that way. right? So if you are in the market, you have to take benefit of what the market is showing you right now, right here. And that's why when I do trade and close my positions, I inform you guys in the Telegram alerts. You just get this. So that's like in these two, which I'm showing you, is a couple of them in the 630 of them, which we have went through in those alerts till this point. So if you want to get those, again, check back the SI family. You are going to get the value. Now, you enter Bitcoin market. There's a short-term chart. Yes, you're getting the volatility. But let me ask you something. If you're here now, are you looking for at least next 3 to 5 months? Because some of these assets are going to top off in 2.5, 3 months. Some of them are just starting, so they may have 3 to 4 months. Some of them have not yet started, so they may take 5 months. So depending on which segment of the market you are in, this matters. Now, you go look at the dollar and you're like, okay, the dollar is actually doing just like what we wanted to do. It's all good, it's all great, but the daily close is what we want to see. Next day, if it's closing here, great, perfect. In a week, if we can break this level below 100, whoa, that's something really, really what we actually are looking for, and we will be super happy about it. But right now, you are going to look at Bitcoin because that decides a lot in the market, and the ETF has been live. But the benefit here is like most likely this institutional trading is active from Monday to Friday. You're not actually watching them on a Saturday, Sunday. So weekends should be that area where you see enormous amount of volatility in Bitcoin and crypto. That's not just one thought process like that. We have seen multiple times where weekends happen to bring in some volatility. The weekly close, especially. On the stock market, it's different. The weekly close is with the institutional guys on the Friday. In crypto, it's different. So think about that. It's going to come. So you need to be prepared. And when I say you need to be prepared, you need to understand what the monthly shows. Remember, this monthly chart is something we have been discussing from this point. Once we broke this level, that was a confirmation. Your trend has changed. Now you haven't reversed yet. So why go bearish? And if you're bullish, think about how aggressive are you going to go. Historically speaking, each and every time on a monthly, when you enter the overbought territory, what happens? Price goes up. Maybe it's just 200% this time. Maybe it's just 100% this time. But that shows you Bitcoin is reaching $90,000 to $100,000. That is not a small spot to be in. While the altcoin market, this is including Ether, the entire altcoin market is showing you this. Now, if you want to remove everything, fine. Look at this without any noise or information added onto it. There's a weekly chart. If you want to add on information, look at this. Now, why am I focusing on that? Because if you find that RSI is showing you a little bit of noise, I cannot understand that. Fine, great, perfect. Just look at the RSI. What do you see here? Okay, let me actually make that a little bit bigger so you guys are on the same page. Historically, what have you seen when the price action shows you a structure like this, where the RSI pumps first and then enter into a bull flag, and then what happens? Boom, it breaks higher. If that's to happen, historically, last time, you started bursting from $190 billion all the way up to $1 trillion. That's $1.5 trillion. That's a massive run up even in the last cycle. So if we are about to see something like that, you are going to make generational wealth if you don't make mistakes. Because remember, the market has different variations of doing things. If you were expecting the Wyckoff spring here, saying that's mandatory, you missed out. But why? Because sometimes the market does not give you that spring. Instead, it actually go back up. So you have to focus on the Wyckoff Creek structure and a breakout. We went through that. Right now, we are watching it going higher. So you go through assets like XRP, and you're like, okay, it's slowing down. It's still in the pattern. It's not breaking higher. Agreed. This is what we were talking about. We need to come back up to this point. We did come there, but we did not break higher. So we are getting rejected. So this goes back to my thesis I've been saying from last 4 to 5 months. Think about this. You need to see other assets topping off. And I see some of them are actually doing that right now in the market, which is a good thing to see, that the price is going up. RSI is slowing down. So you're actually getting this in the RSI and the price action. And then you're actually watching there is a possible, not yet confirmed, possible double top structure coming in. If you break to the downside, that's good. If you don't, it can be a trap. That can still go back up for another leg and then come back down. So don't get trapped in those movements. Market will try as much as possible to invite people with a red carpet to the upside and trap them there and drop them there, right? This is what the market usually does. So be careful when you choose an asset like this. Money is going to be moved out of these assets and it's going to enter into different segments. So if you do look at XRP, that's payment assets. If you are looking at Cardano, that's smart contracts. You look at various different assets in your portfolio and you're looking at the market. You kind of get an easy idea where the money is moving. If you're on a monthly chart, this is one of that easiest area where you're like, okay, there is enormous volatility in the market and that creates opportunity. So if you are looking at these, look for a daily chart. What's happening there? Is there a breakout yet? If not, you may get a better price point to buy. This is going to be that bull flag. If you do break higher, that's a different story. You go up. But most likely what happens is by the time MACD crosses back up, you will see the breakout. Now we may need a day or 2 there. You can zoom in. You can go on a 4-hour chart. You can see what we are looking at. Are we looking at a rejection? What are we watching? The candle here shows like you got a rejection at the resistance. So if you do drop, we want this to come back down here. And once we reach here, we need to see this bouncing back up. So it's a great area to watch a pattern like this. This is going to be something interesting. Now that's just one asset in the smart contracts arena. If you go look at another one, you will see how the industry is doing right now. And I'm like, okay, that's something to keep an eye on. You got a breakout, but you're not getting back into that range, which is fine. So if you do get a bounce off that, it shows you a breakout, retest, and a bounce. So you're like, okay, what does the macro structure show me? Because that's on a micro. If I zoom out, what can I see? And that is where things become even more interesting. This is why I always say, look at the charts on a different horizon. If your previous support turned into a resistance, now if you break that, it's going to become a support. That's what's happening here. You went up, you're making that as a support, now boom, you go up. You understand how the market moving and you play accordingly. That's why I say in few months from now, things are going to change. Yeah, they'll actually give you these kind of wild numbers, which they think is going to happen. For sure, there's a lot of different points. And if you plot what has happened till this point, you can actually say this. But do I think this is possible? No, I don't. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But if you do look at things from the start of this asset and try to put that in to your thought process, you kind of end up somewhat close to what I'm giving you guys, right? So now, if you're in the altcoin market and you're looking at the payments and you're only in payments, yes, it's a tough place to be because you're not seeing any of your portfolio going up because you're entirely in the payments. But if you are trading, that's one of the reasons why you guys see me trading all the different assets, but not in payments. Why? I want exposure to the assets which are showing me momentum. It's going up. I'm making profits. Remember, you're starting with just $1,000. You just need to do 100% 7 times. And that's where a lot of people miss this. They say, oh, it's just a 100% trade. No, it's not. Yeah, it is in numbers, but what happens is your 1,000 becomes 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, 64, and it goes through the roof. So you need to be disciplined in doing that. How soon and how many assets can you double? So if you want help in that, that's why I say SI Family is there to help you. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, consider smashing that or obliterating that. For anyone who has done that till this point, I'm really, really thankful. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.